Hi there, and welcome to Still Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Fortune Baule, and if you're new here, welcome to a space that's all about progression, not perfection. The fact that we are becoming people, which means we have not arrived at where we're meant to be yet, but we are just getting to our destination. And so I invite you into this space and happy Still Learning Monday. Hey guys, how you doing? I hope that your week honestly is going better than mine has been the last couple days. If I am to put into words what the last couple of days have been like for me, I think one word to describe it would be rough. I think that encapsulated it pretty well. It has been a rough couple of days for me, guys. I've been going through a lot. I feel like I've really been tried and tested, but I've also experienced so many highs and lows in a matter of just a couple of days. Like it hasn't even been a full 7 days yet. And so when I was even going to sit down and record this, like I didn't know exactly how I wanted to show up. I think I had to really take time to process what this last week has been like for me. I did that yesterday. I journaled, and that was really helpful. Like, I'm not the biggest journaler. I wish I was. Like, I really want to employ journaling as a daily practice in my life because I do think it's really important to reflect and sometimes just like it's a lot easier to get all your thoughts and words out when you're able to write it down. And for me, like I find it hard to make a consistent practice in my life, but in those moments where I really need to, and I just feel so overwhelmed because I have been just feeling really overwhelmed and anxious lately, and just trying to stay positive has been really difficult for me. And so just journaling and writing out everything that I'm feeling and what I've been going through, but also taking the time to express gratitude and what is going right has really helped me be able to sit down today and have this conversation with you guys and just be in a place where I feel a lot more centered and a lot more at peace with my current circumstance and knowing that everything is going to work out for me. And that has been really helpful. And so this last week, if I had to start somewhere, I think I'll start with Friday night. So last Friday night, I went out and I went to go celebrate a friend's birthday, and it was such a good time. As you guys know, I'm still building community around me and allowing God to show me who are the people He's called into my life and called me to be in their lives. And it's honestly been such a really positive experience for me. And I've really been enjoying getting to know people more. And I just find myself laughing so much more. And it was a really great time that I had. Then we also had a moment where we were reflecting and we got to share like what we were learning from this past year and just what God has shown us in this last year. She gave us some really great prompts to journal out. We did like a little journaling session during her birthday event. And literally to talk about journaling. And so it was really helpful to do that and just hear what God has been doing in everyone's life and what everyone is learning so far. It was really nice. And honestly, like I was really tired that day too because I had just worked like the last 3 nights. I'm really happy that I pulled myself together and still went out to celebrate her and just be able to connect with people. And it really was such a fun and amazing experience. But then the night took a turn. I just had this great time, had so much fun, and I returned to my car to go home to find my car gone. Yep, you heard me. I said my car was gone. So the funny thing is, on my way to a birthday event, I kept running into my other friend because we were both looking for parking. Because if you live in the DC area, you know that there's no such thing as parking. Like parking is so hard to find, especially in any major city. And so we were both looking for parking and we kept running into each other. It was actually laughable how much we kept running into each other as we're looking for parking. And so we just ended up going to look for parking together. And so we found this giant like parking lot with a bunch of different stores. Like there's a Home Depot, a Ross, like those like shopping lots. And we parked there. And so she parked directly behind me. And so when we returned to the parking spot, and I literally could not see or find my car, when I tell you guys my heart dropped. It sank to the floor. And she parked directly behind me. And so I knew exactly where my car was. It wasn't like a matter of like, oh, like, sometimes you lose your car in a parking lot. Like, no, I knew exactly where my car was. And so to not find it there, a million thoughts were racing through my mind. I was like, did someone steal my car? Like, what's happening? Like, I didn't know what to do. And I was just scared. Like, I was really scared. And I am so grateful that she was with me. And another one of our friends was with us. So I'm so happy that I had the two of them with me during that time, because I don't know what I would have done if I was alone. And I think it's really important, as I'm just like telling you guys what's been going on and just recapping the last couple of days. What's really helped me is being able to identify the ways that God has been good to me and faithful to me when I'm going through these situations and circumstances that can be really hard and frightening in life. And dealing with them alone can suck. And I'm really glad that in that moment, God allowed me to be surrounded by people who cared about me, and I was not stranded. I was not alone. Like, she had her car, so I had a means to get home. And through her, I was able to find out that my car ended up being towed. Guys, my car ended up being towed, and there was no sign, nothing that I saw around there that you cannot park there, or that there is a certain amount, like a certain hours or limits that you can park there for. And so I was just like, what? Like, my car's towed. I don't know what to do. This never, like, has happened to me before. I've never experienced this. And I was just really happy to have, like, friends there with me to help me get through that night and being able to deal with that circumstance, because I don't know what I would have done without them. I had no idea where my car was. And so we ended up getting into her car, and we called like like the parking legislation. I think that's what you call it. And we called them, and they directed us to this towing company. And I think it's also important to note that there was other cars within the vicinity that were not towed and also did not have a ticket on them. So for me, it was just like, okay, so my poor little car was just targeted. She was targeted. She did not deserve this kind of treatment. She's just a girl, and she was just trying to live her best life. That's it. And so that was happening. We called them, we figured out where my car was, but then we had to call the towing company, and there was so much drama with that towing company. They were not willing to provide information as to where my car was. And they were just telling me I have to go pick it up the next day. And on their website, it says that they're 24 hours, but they are not 24 hours because they only open on a certain day. And they also don't take any card. They had to do cash. And it was just a lot of very shady stuff. And I honestly, if I'm being really honest with you guys, I don't know how it was so calm. I was so calm in that moment. It truly was peace that surpasses all understanding. My friends who I was with, they were fully like advocating for me. They were calling up the towing company. They were advocating for me in the moment where I just think I was so like I froze. No, I didn't even freeze because I'm still able to make decisions. I was just like, and we ball. Like, I don't know. I think for me, when I go through situations like this, like, I really suppress my feelings. We can unpack that later. So I really suppress my feelings, and I'm just like thinking like logically. Like, I think I'm more like, I really much have like that problem solving thing. Okay, so what can we do? What is the solution? Like, I don't have time to panic right now. Like, I can't give myself space to panic. Like, I suppress any kind of emotion like that. And so that was what was kind of going on with me, but they were fully advocating for me, having my back. We even had to call the cops at one point and have like the non-emergency line contact them. Like, it was so much drama, guys. Like, it was crazy. It was insane. But I am so grateful that God allowed me to be surrounded by people in that time who cared for me, who were having my back, who were like seeing that I was going through really like distressing time, and what happened to me was unfair, and that they just showed up for me in that way. Like, it was late in the night too, guys. Like, it was like past like 11, and by the time I got home, it was like around like 2 a.m., close to 3 a.m. So they were fully like just with me and helping me figure out the situation, which they did not have to do. Like I'm sure they were exhausted from the day that they had. And then they also have things to do the next day. Like one of my friends had worked and it was just like, you guys don't have to be showing up for me in this way. Like this is a lot that's going on. And I'm so grateful for your support and just God surrounding me with people in that moment, knowing that, like, because God knows all things. So he knew that this was going to be something that happened to me, that this was something we would go through. And, what I say all the time is like 2020 is hindsight. Because when I think about it, how I kept running into my friend all throughout the night, both of us trying to look for parking, and if we had not parked together, then we wouldn't have parked in the same space, and I wouldn't have like had her there to be able to help me get home, and also just someone to help me navigate the situation and lean on for support because she parked directly behind me. Like all those little details, like God made sure that, hey, that you're about to go through something because he could foresee all things. But don't worry, I'm going to ensure that you're okay. I'm going to make sure that you have the right people around you. I'm going to make sure that you're able to find a solution and I'm not going to leave you alone. And again, it just is a testament of God's faithfulness and goodness in my life. And that is what helps me from spiraling and getting so caught up in the negative, recognizing like the goodness of it all. Like there is so good, even if everything looks bad. Like there is still something to be grateful for. And to show appreciation for. And so I was so grateful for them. Like I kept saying thank you, thank you, thank you to them because also what caused us to be out long all night, as well as that I had to get cash because this towing company only took cash and I had no cash on me. I mean, who even carries cash in this day and age? Like genuinely, who carries cash? And so we went to so many different 7-Elevens and gas stations because like the bank that I used wasn't anywhere near where we're currently at. And so I tell you guys, we went to 3 7-Elevens and they were all closed. And then we also went to 2 gas stations. Yeah, I believe we went to 2 gas stations and the ATM didn't work. I think it wasn't until the third gas station that we finally found an ATM that worked. Like it was insane, guys. Like it was crazy what that night was like entailing for me. But again, just so grateful that I had people there with me. And then I was like, okay, guys, I'm just gonna get my card tomorrow at the time that they said they did. Hopefully that it's there and like praying that it's okay. Because again, at the time I had no idea where my car was. But I was just praying and I was just like believing the Lord, everything's gonna work out. I'll get my car tomorrow. And my friend, he offered to come with me tomorrow, even though he literally had work, guys. He literally had work and he was like, don't worry, like I'll like step away from work for some time. Like I'm not doing anything crazy and I'll be able to come with you. Like I don't want you to go by yourself. And that again, like you don't have to do that. And it's just like, well, people are so kind. Like it's just really good to have good people around you during those times. And so that was the plan. And we just got McDonald's because I think after just going through something like that, you need something sleazy, greasy, and just comforting. And I'm not even a huge McDonald's girl, but one thing about me, they have the best fries. And that fry definitely helped brighten up that night a bit. And so that happened. And by the grace of God, I was able to get my car the following day. And that was really, it was just, I was happy to sign my car, get my car. It was in one piece. And I still, on top of the 140, had a 250 ticket, like on top of my car. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, this was definitely an unfair citation. And I think a part of me, like, almost wants to just suck it up, even though it's gonna, like, be like, dang, like, that is, like, money that I have to give. And I'm like, God, please replenish me. Please renew my resources and my finances. But then I was like, no, I actually need to advocate for myself. I think a lot of times, like, in situations like this, I think a lot of times they don't expect you to advocate for yourself when they do these ticketings and things like that, especially when it's like, okay, this was definitely an unfair situation. My car shouldn't have been ticketed and neither should it have been towed. And I actually am going to like advocate for myself and be like, hey, like I'm gonna have this ticket contested. So I am in the process of doing that. I am proud of myself for doing that because a part of me just wanted to suck it up and do it. So I just no longer have this like situation, circumstances lingering. Like I am very much someone who just hates to have a situation or circumstance be dragging on because I think it just spirals more like anxiety within me. Like I'd rather just kind of like deal with it, tackle it head on and be done with it. Like I hate just having to like recircle to it and just have it lingering. Like I just hate the feeling of something lingering. And I was just gonna suck it up and do it. But I was like, no, like I actually really need to advocate for myself because this was an unfair situation that happened and it was stressful and it doesn't make it right. Like it doesn't make it right. And to pay all these expenses for what? Like, no. Stand up for yourself, Fortune. So I am in the process of doing that, and I am trusting and believing that God will allow me to, you know, come out on top of the situation and everything work out. And so Sunday, I have my car again, and everything's la di da di da. Finally, starting to turn around, look up. Like Friday night, Saturday, that was a little rough, but our car's back in our position. She's okay. She's doing fine. And we're grateful. And we're grateful that we had great people for us there and supporting us and helping us get through that stressful time. And it's okay. It's okay. Next time we know that anytime I want to go in the DC area, definitely am going to be taking an Uber and will not be taking my car because I don't want to have to go through another situation like that anytime soon. So it's Sunday, and I go to church and an amazing service. Right now at my church, we're doing a 31 days of prayer and truly so impactful, so empowering. And again, and prayer is something I'm constantly trying to increase in my life and doing. Like prayer is so important. Prayer is necessary. Like prayer is a way of life. Like you have to do it. And so I love every opportunity that pushes me further in praying and like speaking and communicating with God and just laying my burdens at him, but also allowing him to transform me. And so I am so grateful for this time that's currently happening at my church, and prayer changes everything. I'm a firm believer of that. And so that was happening. And then I had an audition after church. Can you believe it? I still can't believe it. I had an audition for the dance team at my church for the dance ministry. And one thing about me is I have not been professionally trained in dancing. Like I would not fool you guys into thinking that I was doing ballet as a kid. I wasn't, but I do have a lot of dance experience in the sense I did a lot of musical theater growing up, but that's also part of the dance team in high school. And so dance has just always been something a part of my life. I love dancing. It's such an incredible form of expression. And I just really wanted to take this opportunity and take the chance, put myself out there. Like for a second, I almost wasn't going to do it because I was just like that's a lot of putting yourself out there and being vulnerable. But that's what we're all about, right? That's what we're all about, Fortune. And it's important to take risks and put yourself out there because you never know what you can gain from it and just the incredible experiences and opportunities you can receive from it. And it's also part of my goal of 2026 to lean further into the creative that I am because I very much am a creative person and I love the arts. I grew up in the arts and it's such a passion of mine and such a love of mine. And it definitely is something that took a back burner in my life, especially once I started college because I started going the sensible path and doing things that is financially stable and secures a financially stable future. Nursing, and not that I don't love being a nurse and being a part of the healthcare field. Like I actually really do love doing that. But I feel like my creative pursuits and passions definitely took a back burner, and I am wanting to like research that and really never allow that to die out in my life, like ever. Constantly allowing that to be a flame that's being stoked. And so 2026 is further leading into that because I definitely still made means of doing that throughout my life. In college too, I was a part of fashion club and doing creative directing. I love creative directing, or even doing like shoots and campaigns. I enjoyed so much being a part of that. And so I want to continue to do that and find that here and not allow it to be something that's lost. And so I think even me auditioning for the dance team was just me also like showing up for myself and like really putting into practice what I'm trying to seek out for myself and the life that I want for myself. and ensuring that my creative pursuits and endeavors are never something that's lost on me, but something I constantly am growing in and making sure it's a secure and part of my future. And so I did that. I auditioned and I had so much fun auditioning. I love learning the piece. And again, I just love that for any art form that allows me to express myself genuinely and just show different sides of myself and tell a story. And dancing does that. So I did the audition and I was a little nervous. I didn't know how it was gonna go, but I was proud of how my audition went. I was proud of what I did and what I was able to walk away from. And so waiting to hear back was definitely like when I was like, okay, God, if it's your will, I'll have it, I'll receive it. And if not, it's okay. It's okay. Like it's not the end of the world. But I'm just happy and proud of myself for putting myself out there and going for it. That's it. Like I'm happy that I went for it, no matter what the outcome is. And then the next day, Monday, I think like Monday morning or Monday afternoon, I found out that I made the team. I was so excited. I was so geeked. Like, but also like I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait, what? Seriously? Like, seriously, I made it. I did it. Oh my gosh. Like I was just so stoked. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this like next part and so happy to be a part of the ministry and also like the people I'm gonna be able to like meet and grow a community with. Like I'm just so excited. This is also like my first ever like ministry I've been a part of in a church setting like ever. And I think it really does suit me that my first ever kind of ministry that I'm a part of in a church setting is dance, like is something creative. Like I don't think that's lost on me. And so I'm really excited to be able to start this and be a part of it and grow in it and see the ways that it just shapes me and builds me up. I'm just so excited. And so that was such a highlight, especially coming off of what was happening the night before. Like this was such a highlight for me. And so that was going great. And then in the night, things took a turn. And like I said at the beginning of this video, in the beginning of this conversation, that this week has been highs and lows. I truly mean that. Like it's been highs and lows because the night it took a turn. And when I was coming back from work, my car that I just got back, um, I ended up getting in an accident. I promise you guys, it's not funny. I don't know why I just laughed because it's not funny. It's not funny. I got in an accident. Don't worry. No other vehicle was involved. It was just my vehicle. No other person was harmed. It was just me. And again, when you're going through such a hard time or when just feels like another thing, like it's another bad thing that's happening to you, or just life is lifing again. You're just like, why me? Why me? Like sometimes it can be so easy to just get caught up in what is negatively going wrong in your life. And that was honestly my thoughts, guys, when I got in this accident. Like, I ended up hitting a fence. The fence is fine. It was literally just me and my car, but I got out of the car and I saw my car in the front. I literally it honestly took all of me not to fully crash out in that moment. Like, just not to crash out. Like, I think it was genuinely the Holy Spirit holding me together in that moment because I wanted to crash out. Like, I was just like, this cannot be real. I can I close my eyes and pretend this isn't happening right now? This is also my first accident with my car and my first accident ever, like actually as a driver for like as the last 5 years. So this is like seriously, I was like, seriously, what is happening right now? And when I tell you it only got worse, so the next morning, because I still had work. And so the next day I was extremely sore, like my neck and my shoulders. I feel a lot better today at the time of recording this, but it was so sore. I was actually in a lot of pain and I just had like a whiplash. I'm okay, guys. Like I am okay, but I was definitely experiencing pain. I still had to work. I was working the next 3 days, and so I still had to show up to work. Tuesday, I went to work because my car, the front wasn't looking good. It wasn't super cute. It was looking pretty bad. But it was still kind of drivable. And so I went to work. And then Tuesday night, when I came out of work and saw my car, it got worse. And I didn't think it could get worse, but it got worse. And honestly, because I felt like with my car, it felt like the car of shame. You know, the walk of shame? It felt like I was doing a car of shame because that front looked terrible. The bumper was now hanging off and dragging on the floor, and I had to get my car back home. And so I drove back home with my car in this condition. And when I tell you, I didn't even put on the music. I didn't put any, I was praying so hard just to get back home safely. Like the amount of anxiety and fear that was swelled up within me because I was just like, this is now hazardous. Like, but I need to get my car back home. So, and just keep it there. I was just trying so hard not to panic, and I was just praying the whole time, like, God, please let me get back safely. And I did get back safely, but I was just looking at my car like, are you serious? Like, it just got worse because I was gonna take it to the shop once I was like done with work for the week, but I was like, this cannot be delayed any further. Like, it's in bad shape, and I have to get this fixed. And then I was thinking about the financial cost of this whole, I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't even know how I'm gonna be able to pay for this. Like, like I don't know what to do. And it just felt so stressed out. And I was like, this is another thing, like, why? Like I was trying so hard to just actually no, I don't even think I was trying at all. It was very difficult for me to feel positive in that moment, guys, to feel any sort of okay. I just felt so overwhelmed, so anxious, and I just kept thinking about the future. I was like, I'm out of a car. How am I gonna get where I need to get to? Like, what am I gonna do right now? Like, what shop should I even go to? I don't want to be like what's the price? How much is this gonna cost? Like, yeah, I was so caught up in all of that, and so it was really hard for me to feel not like crap, to be honest. And then Wednesday, I had to file a claim with my insurance. And this is part of me remembering in hard times the things to be grateful for. I'm just grateful that I have insurance, that I have full cover insurance because I recently changed car insurances. So like literally thank God that I have that. And though my deductible isn't paid off, like most likely my car insurance will pay for it. And um my deductible that gets renewed the start of the next year. So it's actually the best time for me to get my car repaired now as the calendar year is wrapping up. And so, things to be grateful for. And I still have my life because it really could have been way, way, way worse. It's just the front. The rest of the car is perfectly fine. It's just honestly like the bumper in the hood, like it isn't even like my car is like fully crashing or anything like that. It's not totaled, it's repairable. God allows the things that are broken to be restored, and not only restored but made whole. So your car is something that can be restored and made whole. You don't have to get an entirely new car fortune. You still have your life. You literally still have your life. Like one of my fears is a car accident. Like car accidents actually like are a fear of mine, like because they can either go so terrible or be like nothing. And so I'm just really grateful that no other vehicle was involved, that no other person was involved, like, and that I got out with a very, very minimal injuries, like a sore neck and a sore upper body, like shoulders, due to the whiplash of the crash. But that's it. I don't have any like broken bones, any tears, any disjointedness or like everything's perfectly fine in that sense. Even though I'm worried about the finances, I know that God would provide and that He sustains me, and I still have a job, right? Like I still have a job right now, and He can restore all things. He can replenish me. He provides an abundance. Like I will be okay. And these were just the things that I had to journal out even yesterday because when I say guys, like I just was in such a rut with everything that was going on, and it just I don't know, I just felt so impossible. It just felt like I'm in such an impossible situation. And then to add to the offense, the cherry on top was my bathroom. So I woke up Wednesday and my bathroom was wet. There was a puddle in my bathroom. And I found out that my toilet was broken and it had been leaking. And so I had my sister called for maintenance because I had to literally rush out the door for work that morning. And so I had her call for me and they came by and they told me, hey, we have not, they didn't tell me. They told her and she didn't tell me that they had to order another piece. And so I can't use my bathroom until Friday. And I was like, oh, okay, great. But again, remembering the goodness of things to be grateful for in the hard times, my sister still has a bathroom. Like I live with my sister, so we both have our own bathrooms, and I'm able to use her bathroom in the meantime. And so I still have a bathroom to use. I still have a place to wait, I was gonna say, is that TMI? Well, it's a place to pee and poop. I don't know if that's TMI. Like we all do it. It's a bodily function. But I still have that going for me. And so I just took all those things into consideration and my God, I just surrender this situation to your hand day by day. You know, everything's gonna work out. I ended up calling for a rental place because it definitely is going to take some time for my car to be fixed. And so I was like, I do need a car. Like, I do need a means to get around places. And so I called a rental place, and turns out with my insurance, they give a discounted rate for it. And so I know the discounted rate. I'm not getting a rental just yet. I want to know how long my car is going to be in the shop before I start paying for that. But the price is pretty good for me to be paying day by day because to be Ubering everywhere, that racks up. That is definitely going to rack up. And I need to not be having any excess expenses or that are not necessary right now. And so I am grateful for that as well. And it's just all those things of taking that moment to appreciate and express that level of gratitude to God for that. And it could be worse and it's not. And I feel like God has allowed there to be a but. Like, okay, well, my car got towed. Your car got towed, but you have friends who are here to support you and who are going to be with you and helping navigate the situation, ensure that you get back home safely. You got in a car accident, but you still have your life. No other car or vehicle was involved. You got minimal injuries, some soreness. You're going to be okay. Your car is going to be okay. You are insured. Okay. You're worried about finances, but you have a God who provides and you have a job in a really sucky job market right now. And you have support of your family and your loved ones. And you have people who are checking in on you and praying for you, ensuring that you're okay. All wonderful things to be so grateful for. I'm so grateful for it. And so that is why just sitting with that, reflecting on that, journaling that out, and just thanking the Lord for that is what's allowing me to really show up in this conversation today. So centered. And also, I got so emotional yesterday when I was just processing everything that's been happening the last couple of days because I got emotional for a good thing because it showed for me how experiencing God in another way. I knew God as a provider. I knew God as a defender. I knew him as a protector. I knew him as faithful. Those are all the things that he is. But I'm experiencing him in a new way. And I'm experiencing him as a God of counter attacks. Because everything that was happening, guys, it just felt like one attack after another attack after another attack. Like it just was like, well, what is happening? Why is this happening? And I also understand sometimes life be lifing. Life just be lifing. And so when it feels like that, and I couldn't anticipate any of this, but God had. He had anticipated everything that was going to come, and he had already planned a counterattack. And when we think about military or war or anything like that, or even in sports, right? When they come up with a counterattack, it's in order to either neutralize or minimize the amount of damage that the enemy or the other team may have towards you. And so when I was going through all these situations and circumstances, God foresee them and he developed a counterattack in order to either neutralize or minimize the amount of damage that could have been done. With the towing, Yes, I still had to pay $140 in order to be able to get my car back, but I know that with God, that $250 I'm not gonna have to pay. Okay? Like he created a counterattack and I'm able to, contest for myself, and that is minimizing the amount of damage. Even with the car accident, okay? Like it literally could have been 1,000 times worse, 1,000 times worse, but I still have my life. My car is fixable, and that minimize or neutralize any of the other damages or injuries that I could have incurred from this attacks that I'm experiencing in life, or even with the toilet. Even with the toilet. Okay, you be out of the toilet, be out of the bathroom, but hey, I can still use my sister's bathroom. Like things like that, where it's like, wow, God, like you are got a context. Like I'm not prepared. I was not prepared for any of this craziness that was happening to me in this last couple of days. And honestly, if I didn't have that and I did not have my family and my friends in my life, I would have spiraled, I would have crashed out, and I think anxiety and fear would have completely consumed me. And because I had such a good God. And he already saw it all and he prepared and ensured that I would be okay, that I have provision, and he's still doing it now, even though the situation isn't fully done, right? Like I'm still waiting to hear back from my insurance. I'm still waiting on what the next steps are. I know that God is with me in the next steps and that he's already prepared a way for me through it. He's already made a way. He's already done it. He's already figured it out. Like there is already a future with me having a completely repaired, restored card with all the finances provided for in order for me to ensure that all is well. That future is already set in stone. I'm just waiting to live it out. I remember at church this past Sunday, one of the elders who was preaching, he said that God is also a God of the future. And so he knows your future. He knows my future. So that future's already out there, already existed. And I'm just waiting to live through it. And so I was like, wow, God, thank you for being a God of counterattacks. Thank you for being a God who, even though I'm not prepared, you're prepared, and that you already foresee the hardships that I'm going to go through until you create things and you bring people and you create circumstances and situations and you bring resources in order to ensure that these hardships that I face, the impact that they have are either neutralized or cause the minimal amount of harm possible, and that after the fact there is restoration, there is wholeness that comes, and it's just again a testament of your goodness, of your faithfulness, of your love, and of your mercy for me. And so I'm gonna rest in that. And I just had to refix my eyes on it because I was just so focused on what was going wrong in my life that I was forgetting all the good and all the faithfulness and all the ways that I can express so much gratitude and be so grateful in this moment. And it just even pushes me more to just be even more generous in my giving now. It's the holiday season and it's just a really hard time in our country in general. And I really wanted to be so generous during this time, support other people. And I felt like with everything that was going on now and the financial things that I'm going to be dealing with, I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. But I was like, no, no, no. Like, I cannot think with a scarcity mindset. One, my name is Fortune. So literally, I'm going to be living up to my name. But two, like, I cannot think like that. Like, my God is a God who replenishes and gives, and he provides in abundance, and he's allows us to do that for others and meet others' needs. And I want to do that, and I'm gonna do that, and I'm not gonna let these situations or circumstances hinder me from doing that. And he shows up for me, and I'm gonna show up for others. And I know everything's gonna work out. Everything's gonna be good. Like God works everything out for our good, and that includes the bad. So I am just grateful. I sit in this place now, having gone through all that, having gone through a really rough week, guys, just to really say that there is a counterattack. There is a counterattack. If you have had a rough week, like I have, if you've had a rough couple of days, if it just feels like life is life and it's just one thing after another, know that there is a counterattack. Know that there is something that is minimizing the harm, and there is something that is neutralizing what could have happened to you. And know that, God is positioning and setting up people and resources for you to help you endure and overcome these hardships. And know that there's something to be grateful for. something to focus on. And it can be really, really hard. Trust me, I know, really hard to focus on the good when it seems like everything around you, quite frankly, sucks. Sucks really bad. But there's always something to be grateful for. If you have a life, if you're here, if you have food on the table, there's a new song by Maverick City that came out, and one of the verses, I might just get this wrong, but one of the verses is, he woke me up this morning, started me on my way, put food on my table. I have a reason to praise it. I have been listening to that song on repeat, especially during this last couple of days. I needed that. And it's so true. It just reminds me that I should be so grateful I have breath within my lungs, that I'm alive. Like, he woke me up this morning, started me on my way. Like, despite me now having no means of transportation in terms of my own personal part, I've been able to get where I need to be to and fro safely. Like, I have it. Like he woke me up this morning, started me on my way, put food on my table. I have a reason to praise. So there's always a reason to praise. And again, the counterattack is on its way. And so I hope that you guys enjoyed today's conversation, and I hope it was so encouraging for you, and that you're reminded that there is always something to be grateful for and that there is a counterattack on the way. And so I'll see you guys next week for another episode of Still Learning. Bye.